All right. Listen, for my entire existence as a content creator for Wizard 101, the only thing I've strived for was a toxic-free community. And I would only give honesty. And I would make sure that this would stay a toxic-free community. However, recently, it seems someone doesn't want it to be that way. Because what has happened recently is that someone who I have known for a while and I haven't talked to in about 2 years, 1 or 2 years, due to the accusations and allegations made against them that were proven true. This person decided it would be it would be okay to victimize herself. Not only that, they accused me of echoing a quote unquote smear campaign. I don't know why she would decide to choose me out of all people when what I've told her is valid. It's completely valid. It's not rude, it's not harassment, it's not bullying, it's not echoing a smear campaign. It is valid. I have been told the entire proof. I've been sent proof by pretty much other friends that I'm still friends with right now. Um Even some people from extra credits, I've seen the proof. And the fact that this person wanted to accuse me of echoing a smear campaign is beyond me. I do not tolerate any false accusations made against me. I don't tolerate it at all. My channel is made specifically for a toxic free community. I want to make sure my community is very safe. I want to make sure that I know the best for my community. And I want it to be interactive. And I also want it to be safe. But this does not help in any sort of fashion. So, I am going to read this blog and go over why this person must think that everyone is against her. And I will tell her the entire reason. This blog is called Justice Weeps, a true story of harassment, betrayal, and silence in the Wiz 101 community. Silence. The reason people chose to stay silent is for their own safety. It is not ignorance, it is merely for our own safety. It is for our privacy and our safety. Those two are very important. That is why we have to stay silent. Harassment. This, I don't know where to begin with. Betrayal. Betrayal. I've seen no betrayal from what I've gathered. This blog is pretty much basically victimization of this one person. This one was uploaded 3 days ago. It's called The Story Continues. This is the story I never wanted to write, not because it isn't true, but because it still hurts. It never should have happened. I didn't want it to be true. I begged for help, but none came. When I published my story about the early days of the Wizard 101 community, I said that silence had only protected a lie. But I need to make this clear. It didn't just protect a lie, it empowered cruelty. It did not empower cruelty. It rewarded smear campaigns. It gave power to the very people who weaponized my trauma and turned the community I loved into a place I no longer felt safe. I've said that KingsIsle is not an evil corporation, and I stand by that. I love Wizard 101 and know the developers and artists who work there are passionate about their game too, but they are dangerously inept when it comes to the community, and that failure cost me everything in the end. KingsIsle took a hands-off approach in the early years, insisting they would never acknowledge or support social media communities. When I first encountered Nathan, it was through his role leading the fan-run Wizard 101 community Facebook group. When he asked me to help moderate, I agreed, thinking I was doing something small and helpful to give back to my community. But over time, that help became something bigger. With the goal of acknowledgement from KingsIsle, Nathan asked me to help build a fan site. I named it. I helped organize and run the teams. I wrote for it, edited for it, and taught others to write. I was the one doing the day-to-day work, the community engagement, the content creation, the everyday grind. And when that fan site, Ravenwood Academy, was made official by KingsIsle, it legitimized him. Not because he had done the work, but because his name was listed at the top. That was the first time KingsIsle officially recognized us. And even then, it wasn't for the spaces where our community truly lived. Our Discord, our Facebook group, before a website. KingsIsle would later join our community spaces, quietly interacting on Discord but never offering structure, clarity, or support. They have no right to. KingsIsle has specifically no right to really interact with other community servers because they are really hard at work trying to, flesh out new content for the game. Even the community managers are, they're doing the best they can. They can't really interact with them because it's not really necessary, but they do listen. But at the same time, they are also part of a community that literally works on constant updates for the game, seasonal updates. So it's a valid reason for them to not really interact. They had no infrastructure for community safety. They ignored the people who asked for help. Again, the entire team, not just the community managers, they're really busy. They're a busy company. And they can't really they can't they can't respond to everyone. When I first became the leader of the community after the events of the towers falling, the staff and I had a discussion and we agreed to change our name. The server had originally been called Wizard 101 Community, but we didn't feel it was right to keep that title, as hostile voices on Reddit pointed out, we weren't the whole community. That name had been tied to Nathan's leadership, and now we were a new community. We wanted to shape our new name with honesty and care. So we chose Ravenwood Community to reflect both the shift in leadership and our connection to the official fan site, Ravenwood Academy. When the community outside our server pressured us to change the nation, we listened. Not because we owed them anything, but because we believed in doing what was right. That moment should have been a turning point, a clean start for us all. But it wasn't. Because even after Nathan left and the staff team and community were safe, the harassment didn't stop. It mutated. It festered. It moved into private Discord servers, Reddit threads, and DMs. A group calling themselves Atmoplex, which you don't know. Atmoplex pretty much shows, kind of like leaks for like upcoming Wizard 101 updates. Um Pretty much like what's in store. Um Group calling themselves Atmoplex became kind of a shadow council, organizing mockery, recycling misinformation, and propping up the same document that had been twisted and weaponized against me from the start. A document that proves no crime, no malice, no exploitation. A document that simply tried to capture the chaos Nathan left behind. But that people from those circles were now raving around like a smoking gun. There are screenshots, logs, I've kept them. My staff has too. Some of the people involved in harassing us hid behind alt accounts. Some of them are still welcome in the official Wizard 101 community today. They insulted me with misogynistic slurs, made jokes about grooming, and even joked about my real life children. I was doxxed, I was threatened, I was called things I didn't even have the language to process the time. I didn't speak out, not because I was guilty, but because I was terrified. And KingsOut did nothing to help me, even when I begged. They had no reporting infrastructure, no player safety liaison, no escalation path for community leaders. I reached out directly to their community manager at the time, Spark, and I felt hopeful. Spark listened. Spark knew the truth. He met Nathan when the partnership with Ravenwood Academy first formed. So he knew firsthand what Nathan had claimed to be that the rumors weren't true. And although it was clear Spark didn't have much institutional support from his own company, he did what he could to protect me. But then Spark was gone, and the community management team imploded. In that vacuum, the people who hated me found their opportunity. That is when I was banned. No questions, no investigation, no dialogue. KingsOwl cut off contact, terminated our partnership, and banned not only me, but the accounts of my family members, including the character Amber Ravensong, whom so many knew as a pillar of the community. There wasn't even a formal notice. When we became partners, it was through email. When they removed us, there was nothing. Just a silent disappearance from the fansite list. Just absence, just erasure. And all the while, their official Discord mod team turned a blind eye to, and sometimes even participated in, the mockery and abuse. So, I'm gonna make this very clear. I think the reason she was banned was because of the amount of evidence that ties to typical wizhead behavior. So, here is an official log of what basically happened. Why basically she was banned. This was a long while back, way back. She had pedophile allegations made against her. And whether this was true or not, I seem to have believed it, and I wanted to make sure it was safe. So I didn't want to, I didn't want to fully confirm my side because it felt a bit much when I didn't really know a lot of what was happening. But the allegations, it seemed to be true. Then she was also found to have a massive ego and overall was just an ass. So basically, she was acting like a total dick. Um, and the fact that she was pretty much being narcissistic. Um, and that's not really okay. So it's pretty much full on narcissism right here. This person was having an ego, like a really massive ego, and that was just not okay. I don't think she really knew any common sense. The only thing I've seen was narcissism. Um, and the main reason she was banned in game and from the Discord was for charging people $27 to join her guild through her Discord. Charging people money to join an in-game guild. This, I can't even begin to fathom why someone would do something like that. It's pathetic. I can get why she would want to charge people money because at the time she was a she said herself she was a pillar for the community, and there were probably a lot of people who wanted to join her guild. That doesn't mean you have to charge people to join your guild. There are many ways. There are probably many ways in the game that I have not known about because I've never really done guilds before. I've never really talked about guilds in the game, but I should know this. There has to be at least some sort of mechanic that can at least limit the amount of people that can join the guild. And if she did that instead of charging people, then things wouldn't be, bad. She probably wouldn't have met this kind of fate. So that's pretty much why she got banned. She was literally charging $27 for people to join her guild through Discord. That is evidence. That is pure evidence. It is not harassment or betrayal at all. It is pure evidence. Okay, now then, we're gonna move on to next log. Everything I've said, every warning I've raised, every pattern of abuse I endured is backed by evidence. I documented it not because I wanted to weaponize it, but because I was trying to get help. Over the years, I've been called dramatic, overreactive, even manipulative, just for advocating for my community and asking to be treated with the same dignity every person deserves. If you were being a massive narcissist, acting like a literal dick, having a massive ego, and charging $27 for people to join your guild through a Discord, you do not deserve respect. In all honesty, you should probably at least be put in probation. This section is for the skeptics, the doubters, the people who want proof. Fine, here's proof. Let's begin with Ooga Booga, a mod ending official was 101 server. In multiple screenshots, they mocked Ravenwood openly, calling us an echo chamber, claiming our goal is to trap people, and encouraging others to pile on with insults. These were not private jokes. These were messages posted in official public channels while they held a position of authority, even after I had already reported previous instances of the same behavior. So, here in this channel, it says from Jolted Snowman user, I've spoken there like once, and that was like a month ago. Lol. You get banned in there for how you act there, by the way. That's so dumb. Chat, help someone outside is blurring Taylor Swift, and I want to end their existence, but I'm too much of a coward. What do I do? Okay. They're watching, always watching. Ravenwood's not interested in being a Wiz 101 server. It's interesting interested in trying to trick people into joining it and then keep them in the echo chamber for as long as they can. When I brought these messages to KingsIsle's attention, Spark initially struggled to see the problem until I explained. The messages were not only untrue and hurtful, but were also posted by a mod in the space meant to be welcoming for all players. And this seems to be a DM from with Spark and Ravenly. Are we not still an official fanside partner? Why is this slander allowed from a mod? I had to leave because of harassment, and this is just egging it on and offering the appearance that KingsIsle approves of this attitude. Do you? Are we still good? This is where he responded. Sorry, I don't see the slander. Can you explain? Sure, let me just grab my coffee. It's pretty early here. Okay, so if you look at the bottom of the screenshot I sent there, you will see your mod Ooga Booga saying unkind and untrue things about us, basically egging your members on to keep harassing and talking badly about me and us. Okay. Yeah, that's not Grace. I will speak to them. Sorry about that. If you want to know why this happened, I will be glad to share that too. In a nutshell, the way your chat is allowed to be honestly disgraceful. I was shown a screenshot that I just couldn't ignore where one of our shared members was casually talking about kicking pregnant women in the stomach, and another was discussing why cannibalism should be allowed. We don't allow that, of course. So we chose to ban those members because, yikes, your mods do. It's a matter of being able to moderate it. This will spark initially not seeing the slander and then acknowledging the issue. Okay. He apologized. He said he would talk to them, but it didn't stop, and deeper issues began to surface. Staff from the Amoplex Discord, the same group that organized years of harassment against me and Ravenwood, were present in the official Wiz 101 server. Some even held mod titles or access. Okay. I was sent these screenshots and told that this person was let back into your server, even though they are one of the people who called me pedo publicly there. Okay. That's a severe infraction to be spreading that kind of rumor about someone, I would think. I don't understand why they would be allowed back when they have never shown remorse for the damage they caused me in a DME reputation in the community. It kind of makes it look like you guys believe them. That guy did enough who you guys think is so great to someone. I had to block for harassing me, and he continues anytime I just try to have a nice conversation in that server. Earlier, he accused me of publishing exploits at Ravenwood Academy in an article you specifically approved when I asked about it. Every other fan site has a mod representative in your server except Ravenwood, and I always feel like we are on the outside. I can never just enjoy the game and the community. This person you unbegged band rags about being a dev whisperer at Amoplex in that screenshot. I am just so tired of being treated like trash by the Wizard One community, even at extra credits. It feels like they jump down my throat anytime I speak up. I feel unwelcomed, unwanted, and unappreciated in this game. I'm getting tired of trying to shake it off and keep up appearances. I love this game a lot, but I wish I didn't. Maybe you are tired of hearing me complain, but I am tired of living it. I've been away for days because I needed a break from it all. I deserve better to be treated like this, and I just don't know what to do. I'm open to suggestions. I am at wit's end. Okay, so Spark told directly that someone who participated in the smearing campaign, my name was allowed back in. Okay. And this seems to be an alt of Kooky, I'm thinking. Sorry, Ravenwood has 40,000 members with voice chats. And Kooky said, let's not be like them or compare to that garbage, please. I don't think this is mockery. But this language, it probably shouldn't really be spoken. It should be more clarified instead of just calling the community garbage. You should rightfully call them out, but you should not call them garbage. The result, the lines blurred. Abusers were allowed back in, same people who participated in smear campaigns and used emotes to harass my comments and posts in the official Wizard 101 Discord were permitted to stay while I was banned. Okay, so this is apparently from a person called Hi Sir. I hope you are well. This person is an Amoplex and is one of the people orchestrating the pedo reacts and skulls on your fan post. I am. Do you have proof of that? My alt is banned from their Discord, but Kyle has an alt in the official Discord. I also sent it to Kyle. Okay, if you can get screenshot proof to me with them, they will probably take action. Yeah, I'm not about to go through that. Apologies, but just wanted to let you know. My battles with them is over. Okay, thanks. I was just thinking the other day of how nice it was to meet you at PAX and how cool it was that I could tell you it was you just by your energy. I'm glad to hear from you and I appreciate you having as an ally. Okay, so Kooky was not orchestrating hate reactions. In his eyes, he thought it was right to basically call the community garbage when he probably shouldn't have. He should have just called them out. He should have just, expressed their distaste, but he shouldn't have specifically used toxic behavior like that to call them garbage or trash. Just basically calling them out is enough. Basically, just telling them outright that what they were doing was not okay. Um, just telling them you're not a good person. That would have been fine. That would have gotten straight to them instead of just calling them garbage. So I could understand why Raven would have seen that as hate because to me it's not hate, it's really just Kookie's way of expressing his distaste for how Raven's community and herself has acted um because of her narcissistic behavior and her massive ego and her behavior behind the scenes. This wasn't just mockery anymore. It was coordinated campaign to destroy my reputation enabled by people in power who looked away and ignored by those who could have stopped it. It wasn't even mockery to begin with. And it wasn't a smear campaign at all. It was merely people who were trying to call you out, do justice, in probably a wrong way, in a more toxic way than just, being firm and just getting straight to the point. People are just so toxic with calling people out these days. And and I think and this is her way of seeing it. She sees it as mockery. I see it as people basically just being way too fucking toxic with calling people out. And people should really take it more easy with calling people out for their behavior. Because Raven did do some of these bad things. That is true. And the proof is there. But how people called her out, it was not okay. People should not have called her garbage. They should have just blatantly told her, "Hey, you've not really been a good person, and here is why." They could have just said that, and Raven would probably have been okay with it. But instead, she chose to see it as basic, like some sort of smear campaign. And honestly, in my opinion, both are in the wrong, but it's mostly just Raven who's in the wrong. So I think from a standpoint, from a viewpoint, people just need to be less toxic with calling people out, and just not call people garbage, and just be more blatant and straight to the point. And I want people to see it clearly. This is the truth. Not a conspiracy, not a misunderstanding, not drama. The screenshots you've just seen show a clear pattern. Repeated public harassment by mods in official spaces, private acknowledgement from Kingsdale that the behavior was not great, continued inaction known at Moplex members with ties to the smear campaign being allowed back into official spaces, and me banned without explanation. Again, you were banned because you were charging $27 for people to join your guild in game through Discord. It isn't just about me anymore. It's about every creator, every mod, every volunteer who gave their time and heart to a community that didn't protect them. It's about what we all lose when power is abused, when fear is weaponized, and when the truth is treated like a threat. I don't want revenge. I want acknowledgement. I want safeguards. I want KingsIsle to recognize that protecting your community isn't optional, it's foundational. If this isn't just about you, then you shouldn't be victimizing yourself. This is blatantly clear. You have done bad things. You have charged people $27 to join your in-game guild through your Discord. KingsIsle does not take that lightly. It is not allowed in any specific way. It should be illegal. It might be illegal. And that's not okay. And what I've been told about your behavior, that is not okay as well. You should know common sense by now, since you may be a full grown adult. You have acted immature to these to this quote unquote harassment. It's not harassment. To you, it seems like harassment because people are, basically telling me, hey, you're doing bad things. You're taking that as bullying. It's not bullying. You should know how to take accountability for your actions. Even after being banned from the community and game I love, the harassment hasn't stopped, but it has become quieter. The people who had targeted me for years didn't just disappear. But to be accurate, the screenshots here come from before the ban, back when Spark was still a part of the team. It didn't protect me from the harassment, but he did try to keep it from escalating further. Once he was gone and KingsIsle stopped responding, everything spiraled. I tried to let it go. I tried to stay in my lane. I told myself maybe this was just how the industry works, but the bullying followed me from server to server, from public spaces to private DMs, from Discord all the way to my phone. And this was another message to Spark. I'm not going to keep bothering you about this because I have tried and tried to get help, and I guess there is nothing you can do. However, I have been targeted for harassment by these people for years. I love the game, I always will, but I have no choice but to pull back from Wiz 101 for fear of further harassment by these data miners. It has caused me harm. Harm to my reputation, and harm to my mental health at the very least. You know that the attacks have been low and vicious. I have tried to do right by your company and this community, but I am powerless against this group, especially with their increasing influence on the mods in your server. I left your server yet again because I just can't with the rumors spreading by Flora and your mods' apathy to do anything about it because Amaplex has created a bully culture where I am the target of choice and everyone is afraid of who might be next. Like I said, I won't keep bothering you. I hate this feeling of helplessness and defeat. I would rather walk away, and so that is what I have been doing. I guess this is their victory dance. I thought you may be interested and understand what was going on. Despite years of loyalty and contribution, I was left alone to face coordinated harassment from a group KingsIsle helped legitimize. Okay, so this seems to be another DM with a person. I want to get into it, but it doesn't currently have a home in the server. I like that idea. Let me discuss it with the admins and we'll see what we can do. Thanks for the suggestion. I got pinged in Amaplex the other day. I know one. They're like, what's wrong with you? You're still in Ravenwood. They pinged you to ask that? Yep, that's wild. I'm like, despite everything, I still like Ravenwood. Thanks again for providing a home. I really like Ravenwood. They have been targeting me for harassment for years. They've really caused me harm. I don't understand why anyone thinks it's okay to treat another person that way. I have never caused them harm. I only chose not to allow data mining in my own server. A member of Ravenwood telling me he was pinged by an Actoplex just to be mocked for still being a part of my community. He stood up for us anyway and thanked me for providing a safe space. People have reached out to me directly, sometimes to warn me, sometimes to intimidate me. Sometimes it was hard to tell the difference. Okay, so this seems to be a DM from her phone. Hello, Amber. I hope you're doing well. The reason I'm reaching out to you is because you have your settings on Discord off and my friend request isn't being accepted. Look, you still hold a grudge, and that is fine to each their own. But but I don't because I really don't care for drama. It's stupid. One of my members sent a link to something of yours back in 2013, which has personal information on it, like your home address, phone number, etc. And I just wanted to make sure you were aware of it. Okay, so this was a WhatsApp message from someone claiming to have found her personal information. They framed it as a warning, but the implication is clear they still had access to it. So, in all honesty, doxing is not okay. Whether this was true or not, whether this person had right intentions of doxing her, overall doxing is not okay. Whether it was for right intentions or wrong intentions, it's not okay at all to dox people. It's an invasion of privacy, and it causes endangerment. So please, please, from the bottom of my heart, do not dox. Other times it was less ambiguous. I was insulted, cornered, and accused in places where I had once been welcomed. Even the act of defending myself became twisted into something to mock. You are intentionally deceiving people. You're like, what, 40? You should know how to act better than this. Pressured to change my server name despite prior encouragement from KingsIsle staff that was welcome. I tried to help, but public perception was still used against me. Friends turned on me or felt forced to. Some say they were pressured. Some chose silence. Some believed the lies. And this is where I got involved. This this was my DM. I had to respond to Raven because basically I didn't know much of the time, but I needed to respond to her and just say that, hey, we probably shouldn't talk anymore because I think it is best in regards to safety. And this is basically the DM. This is my DM. This is what I said. I personally think it is best. What is best? Who is spreading these rumors is because of extra credits. It will be very kind of you to tell me who is speaking falsehoods about me. But if you want to believe the rumors, I can't stop you. If you want to drop me based on what people say about me, okay, that's your choice. I wish you all the best. And this is what I said. I have a right to not tell you in regards to safety. And that's a valid reason. It is a valid reason to not speak, to not really tell because of safety. Safety, you have no common sense. Of course you have a right to not tell me, but there is no issue of safety. Yes, there is. You shouldn't believe the lies people spread. I would hope you would know me better, but okay, tell me if you want to. Unfriend me if you want to. Good luck in life. Good luck to you too, pedophile. And this was when I did not really know much about what happened with Raven, and since I know more, this message I probably should not have said. I should have just said good luck to you too. I should not have added pedophile because I still don't know whether the accusations of pedophilia made against her was true or not, but I'm still going to assume it's true and just not really take sides. Um, but I chose to close contact with her because I felt like it was important. It felt like it was best in regards to safety. And I didn't want to, get involved in this sort of thing. But apparently she decided to involve me anyway because she basically thought I was becoming an echo in her smear campaign. Accused and blocked by a former friend without evidence. Yes, me and Ravenly used to be friends. We did. We were friends. This was during 2022 and 2023. Um, Pretty much before extra credits was even made. Pretty much when I was part of her community. Pretty much when I decided to um be a part of her community in the community Spiral Cup. During 2022 and 2023, this is when I chose to team with her community for those events. And knowing what has happened now, it was blatantly wrong of me. I probably should have picked another community. Um, and this person said those lies are not true. Um, no matter what you think you say, it does. There is evidence to back up these accusations. After the rumors flared up again, this former friend, a creator I had encouraged and supported, messaged me out of nowhere to accuse me of something vile. This was not out of nowhere. This was blatantly from what I have been told about you. And I needed to tell you urgently, basically because it was important in regards to safety, and I didn't want to get involved in this any further. So I felt like it was important in regards to safety to close contacts with you. There was no evidence, no conversation, just cruelty. And this was basically because I didn't really know anything at the time. I was just told this uh, ba by everyone else, and I still didn't know much about it, but I wanted to be cautious. I needed to be cautious, and she took it as she did. She took it as, cruelty or accusation or whatever. This is just in regards to safety. There's no cruelty here. I felt it was valid and it was right to close contacts with her, just to try to not get involved in this mess. I include this not because it's easy, but because this is what was said about me. This is what was used to isolate me, scare others into silence, and justify my removal. I tried to understand why this was happening to me. I reached out to Spark for help again. Okay. After years of asking for help and feeling unseen, this was the closest I got. A quiet agreement that the culture was toxic, but no tools of authority to stop it. Even those who cared couldn't protect me. After that message, I sat with the weight of it. I asked myself again and again, what more could I have done? I tried to be transparent. I tried to lead with integrity. I tried to be kind and reasonable. I tried everything to show the community who I was, but these rumors kept haunting me. A message to the industry. This didn't have to happen. It should never have happened. I gave everything to this community, not for money or fame, but because I believed in the power of gaming to bring people together. I believed in stories, friendship, and second chances. I believed that if you gave people a space filled with kindness, they would rise to meet it. And I was right. Before Kings Out empowered my abusers, Ravenwood was a thriving, diverse community server, always bubbling with friendship, kindness, and inclusivity, always ready to help someone in game or out. It was proof that safe, player driven spaces can exist. But kindness doesn't protect you from cruelty, and love doesn't always shield you from being erased. What happened to me was not the result of one person holding power. It was the result of a lie protected by silence, a pattern that was ignored until it consumed me, a system that left me to carry the burden of player safety alone and then punished me for collapsing under its weight. I didn't ask for credit. I just wanted to help the community grow and thrive. I poured myself into it, the writing, the leadership, the mentoring, all while balancing motherhood crisis, and survival online. I never expected to be rewarded, but I never expected to be punished for it either. And yet, again and again, I was exploited, first by Nathan, then by KingsOut, and later by the people they legitimized as mods. Each time I gave more of myself, hoping it would lead to something good. And each time they took what they wanted and left me to carry the consequences alone. Kingstown did not just fail to protect me; they legitimized my abuser. They gave power and influence to a player who lied about his age and intentions, and when those lies unraveled, they abandoned the people who had done the real work of building something good. They made me disposable. They were not malicious, but they were negligent, and that negligence changed the course of my life. So let this be a lesson, not just to Kings Out, but to every game studio, every community manager team, every brand that relies on the unpaid labor of fans to sustain its ecosystem. If you lean on community leaders, you must also protect them. If you benefit from their passion, you must invest in their safety. If you ask for their trust, you must earn and honor it. Because we are not just free labor, we are not your PR shield, we are not NPCs in your content cycle. We are human beings, we deserve to be safe, we deserve to be heard, and when harm is done to us, we deserve more than silence. This I agree with. But again, it does not justify what you have done because, again, you charged people $27 to join your guild, which is not okay, which is something that KZO does not tolerate, and it's something that should be illegal. It also does not justify how you've acted towards others. People again, people have told me you had a very just massive ego and you were acting like a total dick to everyone behind the scenes. And there was also the pedophile allegations. So so you can't just say this to justify your actions. I don't expect King's Out to restore my account or reverse the ban or reinstate Amber Ravensong. I don't even expect them to say my name, but I hope they read this, and I hope the next company does better, because somewhere out there was another community leader trying to keep their players safe, holding back a flood of toxicity with nothing but compassion and sheer willpower, and they don't know yet how easily it can all be taken away. If I could protect them by telling the story, then maybe none of this was in vain. As far as Ravenwood goes, our song is not over yet. We may be a little war-torn and battle-weary. Honest, that's just pathetic. But we're still standing, and we will rise again. That is basically just the whole entire blog of Amber victimizing herself and involving me, involving my private DM to her when I gave her no consent. I gave her no consent. I did not want to be involved in this situation. My response to her was valid, and some things should not have been said, but most of the stuff I had to say to her was valid. The reason I had to close contact with her was valid. And Raven, if you are watching this right now, this is not toxicity. It is it is basically you failing to take accountability for your actions. You should know common sense by now. You are an adult. You should know better. You should know better than to have this sort of massive ego and acting like a total dick to everyone behind the scenes. Because what people have told me, with enough evidence to back the claim, whether you say it is a lie or not, no matter how many times you claim it is a lie, it's the truth. And the blog you made, it may give your side of the story. It may show more clarity to what happened in the situation. But still, that doesn't mean you should victimize yourself from using a blog. You could have worded this so much better, and you decide to victimize yourself. And whether this blog of yours was meant to come clean or try to clear up everything else, you didn't really clear up anything. The only thing you did, it's only going to cause more confusion, and it's not only just going to hurt your reputation, it's only going to hurt it's also going to hurt other people, because you basically just shut out everyone's DMs without their permission, without their consent, even my DM without my consent. And that is not fucking okay. You have no right to share private DMs publicly without their consent. Raven, I am not saying this to bully or to harass you. My community has strived to be a toxic free community, and I stand by that, and I am willing to keep it that way. But I am telling you this because I am actually really concerned for you. I am concerned for your behavior. I'm really concerned. Please, I'm hoping that you can reflect on this and you can give a proper apology. Because if you're unable to do that, then God forbid, seriously, what everyone is asking right now, it is not harassment, it's not bullying, it's not betrayal. They are asking in concern to your behavior. We are concerned as a whole for your behavior. Pookie didn't take this concern in the right direction. He shouldn't have called you garbage. He shouldn't have called you trash, and I stand by that. He he should have said something else. He should have been less it's he should have done what I have done, which is what I'm doing right now, which is basically clarifying the situation in regards to concern for your behavior. Okay? I want to make sure you know this because because what you've done, it's not okay. Yes, you've made mistakes. You can learn to grow from it. Okay? You should know common sense. You are an adult. And I'm honestly ashamed. I am disappointed. If anyone is to feel betrayed, it would be me. So you can take this with a grain of salt. But please, Amber, I'm asking because I am very concerned. I want you to get help. And honestly, and this is not trying to be funny, please go outside a bit more often. Okay? Enjoy the fresh air. Try to relax a bit. And try to talk to somebody. Anyone. But don't act like a fucking dick. Don't act with a massive ego. Just be open-hearted and just be calm. And, take it easy. Because if you don't take it easy, it's only going to get worse. And I know common sense when I see it. I know harassment when I see it. All right, so I'm going to end this stream here because I am beyond shocked at what I've seen today. And I am just ashamed. I am beyond disappointed. My involvement wasn't meant to be toxic. And my community strives to be a toxic-free community. And the fact that Amber wanted to accuse me of being toxic to her in her DMs, that's her problem. If she wants to see it like that, that's her problem. But I'm really concerned for her. I hope she can reflect on this and try to learn from these mistakes and hopefully grow because she is an adult and I know how she could behave. Right. I'll see about streaming tomorrow. I might stream more of the Storm walkthrough tomorrow. Uh, right now I'm just not in a good mood to really do anything today. After all that's happened, after all I've dealt with past few hours. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be it for me from today. Um, I'll see you all um I'll see you all tomorrow.